Okay, go.
Good evening, students. How are you?
Evening, Dr. Mark.
Good evening. I'm not bad.
I'm okay.
Welcome to the first Google Hangout chat. And the course is in recording. Today is the 17th of November. It's 8:08 p.m. by my clock. ATL, Atlantic Standard Time, and Eastern Standard Time, Jamaican time. Today, this evening, what you'll be doing is just first of all to welcome you all in this capacity, and looking forward to working with you for the next couple of weeks on the course Child and Adult Psychopathology. I'm assuming that most of you, or if not all of you, would have gotten the syllabus or your syllabi. Am I correct?
Yes, Dr.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. So, however, Mr. Niam and I were talking, and I think it's best that there are some potential dates in the syllabus. I think what I'll do, I told him tonight when we chat, we'll discuss the deadlines, and then we'll make it law under the law of the Medes and the Persians. So, in other words, once we have that ratified, there will be no more excuses. Has to be the information has to be turned in. All right, so I see we have, let me just double check to see if all of you are here. No, 2 people are missing. One, Mr. Barr, and Miss Thompson by illness. And let me just call names by Michelle is there.
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Hello, Jean.
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Good. Latoya.
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Eileen.
I think I saw something that said she left the chat.
Oh, she left. Okay. So Mr. Nami, could you?
Yeah, she tried to come on and she seemed to have been knocked off, so I don't know what's happening there. And Marshally, even though she may not be in with you, I have given her a link.
Is she listening? Is she hearing?
She will be hearing, yeah.
Okay. Hearing. So Marshall is there. Victor, Mr. Chiana.
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Okay. And Mr. Geyer, Cato.
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Okay. All right. You're all yours. Oh, so good evening again. So what I'm going to do is, I know people have been calling and emailing about the syllabus. That is the most important thing, to go through the syllabus with you. We have a couple things of housekeeping to do, and then I'm going to be going through the lecture. And what I expect you to do in terms of the discussion forum, I was checking in on the discussion and I only saw one post, and I was wondering what's going on. But anyway, let me just go through the syllabus. Do you have your syllabus in front of you?
Yes,
Dr. Mark.
Okay, because it's going to be revised. It has been revised, but anyway, some things will be changed, but not a whole lot. Now, this is a 5-week course. Now, we managed to get 6 extra 1 week on the course, but this is a very, very broad course. The DSM dealing with psychopathology with children and adults is a vast area of the subject, and so the course itself is giving you just a bird's eye view of what disorders you'll find in the DSM-5. Now, how many of you have the DSM-5?
I have it, Dr. Mark.
Okay, it's very important. I didn't want you to go and buy any books because with the DSM-5 the books have been changed. So I prefer to get up-to-date books that at least has the DSM-5 information in it. So what I've been giving you for the yes.
But Dr. Mark, the office sent out when they sent out the registration for the course, they sent out 2 books that we should also.
What is the book? What is the other one?
Apart from the DSM-5, what was it? The abnormal child and adolescent psychology.
That one is well, that is okay as long as it is a current edition and has DSM-5 updates. because some of the disorders have been changed. So that's the reason why I said to them that you only need to purchase the DSM-5. But anyway, it's okay. You can still have it. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Now let's go through basically. What you need to be aware is that the DSM-5 has changed considerably. And so the things that we used to have in DSM-4 TR is no longer in place. So as we get to that section where we deal directly with the DSM, I'll go through that with you extensively. And I'll be sending you information as the time goes by. But for the purpose of the syllabus, let me just go through. Let me stop and ask, are there any questions between the syllabus?
Yes, Dr.
What is it? Who am I speaking with again? Is it Michelle Williams?
Yes, Dr. Ma.
Go ahead.
Oh shucks. I had questions when I was going through and I didn't make any note of it, and so I can't really tell you right now. But
all
I
right.
have.
Okay, well, once the memory cue is ticking, then you can ask. Students, feel free to stop me and ask the question as you see fit as I go through the syllabus. Now, as you know, this is really a course that deals with psychopathology. It's not a treatment course. It is where you'll be learning about assessment and how you are going to see a set of this symptoms and signs, syndromes, and put a label to it. So this course really gives you the meat and potatoes of how to diagnose a case or diagnose what is going on. So when you get into practicum, you would have at least had the basis of being able to say, okay, this is what's wrong with the patient or what's wrong with the client. And so this course is going to help you to be able to know what to do to treat them. So just a couple outcomes of why you need this course. It is to give you an understanding of the DSM-4. Now, there is the standard text in the field of mental health is called the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, and the latest edition is 5. So it's almost like a cookbook of all the disorders that there are in across children and adults. Is there a question?
Dr. Mark?
Yes, Mr. Victor, yes?
Just to inform you that Mr. Bar is here with us.
I didn't hear you.
Mr. Bar.
Mr. Bar is there?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so I'll add him to the list. Thank you very much. Mr. Bar?
Good evening, Dr. and everyone else.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, welcome. As I was saying that
Dr. Mac, 1 minute. Can I make a suggestion, please, that
yes.
for those persons who are not speaking to put their mics on mute,
yes,
because sounds are coming across.
Yes,
and I can't hear you so
yes,
well.
I'm hearing it myself. Could you mute your mics, please? And then if you need to unmute to ask a question, you could do that, please.
Does everybody know how to mute? Just move the mouse up to the top of the screen and you'll see a mic with you see some icons. And one of them is mic. Just click mute to mute the mic. Everybody follow that? Yes, I see that Latoya has done it. Okay, go ahead then. Go ahead, Dr. Mac.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Much better. So what I was saying is that the DSM-5 is a very, very important manual of all the disorders across the spectrum of children, teenagers, and adults. Without this, you cannot treat a patient or client. You need that textbook. In any mental health, anywhere in the world you go, you have the DSM or the ICD-10, which we'll talk about also if you go to Europe. However, you want to know how would we grade you for this course. This is an experiential course. It's helping you to be able to, as I said, you'll be deal with cases, active cases, to help you to be able to know how to look at a child case, how to look at an adult case. What are the things how are you able to look at the case and to say what's wrong with the patient. So one of the key things and one of the methods we use in this long distance education is called the discussion board. So it's like a classroom. This is what it is. We are in a classroom right now, asking questions. And so what you'll be doing is that every week you have already had for week 1, you would have had a topic on the role of abnormal behavior in whatever context, Jamaica or Guyana, because we have one person from Guyana. So it's extremely important that you keep up with the postings. So with this, you need to do an original post. For example, I saw one person making a post that's an original post. People have to respond to the post, but you do need to at least have twice an original post and a response. So we'll talk about we just will talk about the deadlines, but I'm just going through the syllabus with you about the importance of the discussion forum and what the requirements are for that. Please note that the post is due on Monday, so one is supposed to be due tonight, this evening, and the deadline is also Wednesday when you should be making your responses. Now, when you mute your mic, I know some people have been ill, so we have had some hiccups. I am willing to go to make an allowance for absolute Tuesday for the first post tomorrow night, but I cannot adjust it for Wednesday. So both Tuesday and Wednesdays, when I check in on Thursday morning, I need to see everybody. The entire students have to be posted and it's done. Because after that, I'll have Mr. Nyame close the post, you can't do any more posting. So please, I probably will make an allowance for tonight, that you'll do it tomorrow, up to tomorrow, to do your first post and to conclude the second posting on Wednesday at 11:55. I won't go through the part 1 and part 2, but just to be clear with you that this first post is a reflective paper. And so what I want is a critical paper. It's not actually a paper. It's for you to post within the forum. But I need it to be critical. I need it to be not your thinking. And you need to read on that handout I sent you on Blackwell Publishers. It must reflect the topic in that material plus the videos I gave you. So the aim is with the videos and the post, they go together for integration, that you understand what you're doing. So mostly this post is to garner your critical thinking skills and how you're going to make applications, because this course is going to teach you that when you see clients, when you see patients, you need to know how to think on your feet in an hour. Basically, all you're doing, as I told students before, and how long I've been teaching this course, your whole degree for 2.5 years is really 1 hour to 1.5 hours. A client sits in front of you. What is the problem? They're asking you, what is the problem? So they're telling you their story and you're seeing it as signs. So let's continue. So it tells you the grading criteria we shall be grading you. This first post or this first reflective exercise is 10%. So make certain that when I check tomorrow evening or afterwards, I will see that you have your first post and your second post. The second major assignment is you're going to put in what is known as learning groups. I believe that a learning group is important for you to be able to meet with your colleagues and for you to have some camaraderie and provide a group presentation on any child or adult disorder. So we are hoping to have the presentation starting December the 1st. So tonight, if I can, I want us to have people put in groups that you can start the presentations early. So you're learning groups that you'll be doing your presentation, and you'll also be doing cases as a group. And of course, the group project on page 8 tells you what is expected on the presentation. The presentation will normally be done online in the classroom setting. It has been done before. It's wonderful for the way it's done. So these are the criteria that I expect you to put in. I need an introduction. There are developmental issues if it's a child or adult. A diagnostic criteria, course, method of assessment,
Sorry, Dr.
etiology.
Mac. Sorry, Dr.
Yes,
Mac.
yes.
You said
I'm
page
sorry.
8?
I'm on page 8.
Oh, it starts from page 7.
Yes, I apologize. Page 7.
Okay.
Specific discussion. Well, that is a reflection, but the learning group is on page 8. I think because I changed it slightly, it may have been shifted slightly if you're not finding it, but it's page 8.
Oh, okay, so C, I'm learning group.
C, learning group.
Okay.
That's where I am. Okay. And so I'm talking about the project itself for the presentation. This has to be done online. So once you do it online, it's been posted online, or you can send it to me by email, but it has to be presented online for other students to see, and other students need to avail themselves of the presentation. So you can present anywhere you want, PowerPoints, use videos, integrate to make it very interesting and creative. And but I need you to be to show justification that you have read and you're well informed through research, and to see clear evidence of that. You'll also be getting assignments. As I said, I'll give you some cases, and you have to learn cases in this course. I'll be remiss if I don't do that for you to learn how to deal with cases, because in practicum, some people will be going to practicum pretty soon, I guess. You will need to learn how to deal with clients. And for these, then, we are moving from the groups to individual projects. It's a form to grade you individually. Is that there is going to be a psychological disorder case study. Now, it's a film that you'll get on YouTube. You can, Mr. Nyame? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Can they get YouTube from Jamaica?
YouTube, yes, that's fine. They can get it individually. That's not
okay. Well, okay. So if you can get in YouTube, you need to take any film. I will send you I'll send that to you, and I will send it to you with the syllabus of the different kinds of films that you will be watching, like The Color Purple or whatever films, and you are required to research it. And then you're going to be putting in some of the things on page 10. These are the things I want you to put into that paper. Demographic information in the movie character, sex, age, ethnic background, physical characteristics, disability, if any, developmental milestones, etiology of the disorder, presenting complaints, childhood, adult problems, relationship with parents, if any, peer relationships, significant others, partners, sexuality where applicable, impact on the disorder on spirituality and the culture of society, family history, etc. So all these things are required in that case study. It's almost like a movie of a character, of a movie character. Any questions on this?
Yes, Dr. Mac. You say here etiology of the disorder. So I'm assuming, even though it's not here, that we're supposed to determine what disorder is presented and
yes,
the etiology. Okay, because it didn't say diagnosis.
The cause. What caused it? Is it based upon is it neurological? Is it based upon family problems? Is it based upon a history? Is it acquired? Is it so that's what I want you to look at etiology. What caused it? There are different models of psychopathology which I'll introduce to you in week 2, and so you need to tell me, where did it come from? Where's likely this disorder to come. But you'll have to research it. It has to be researched from a DSM-5 standpoint.
Right. The question I was really asking, though, Dr. Mack, is even though you didn't ask here in the lineup to diagnose what the disorder is, I'm assuming that we would have to do it if we have to do the etiology of the disorder.
Well, you will have to. Yes, I think you need a diagnosis, but I'm not going to be. Will be a little bit leeway with you at this level. I mean, your first years, I expect you, but I expect you to at least to come close or try.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to penalize you heavy because you get it wrong. You would have had enough practice in the cases, but at least it's exposing you from now to be able to do something like this in a case with a movie to test your assessment skills and diagnostic skills.
So if we can determine the disorder, that's not a problem.
It is a problem to the extent that you do something, say something. Even if it's wrong, I can see, but you have to justify why you say that. But don't say you don't know.
Okay. And this is an individual paper, Dr. Mack?
It's an individual paper. It's under the individual project. I know people were confused because it was, so I made certain that it's an individual project. And the E is video and media. In other words, under E, page 11. Page 11. Do you see that?
E is final exam.
No, that it should be F. This is why I'm trying to. It should be F, not E. F. It's an error. E is the video and DVD media. So in other words, what I'm saying is that the videos are important to understand the disorders. I believe in visual learning. People see, they read, and they see it and it plain out. So the videos are very important to learning, and they are normally integrated. So part of your it's part of the discussion forum that you will lose marks if you don't integrate the videos that you're given. The videos that are sent to you is there for a reason. The video clips that you'll get normally, it will be there for a reason. So please make certain that when you, especially for the first this first question and the clips I gave you, you are to integrate it in the discussion for week 1's topic on abnormality. I must see clear evidence that you have looked at the video and it is integrated in the question for you to, or how do you, is it applicable to the topic at hand? And in most cases it is.
Dr. Mark?
Yes, Mr. Victor.
Read the correction you're doing now. Will you be sending it back to us?
I will send it back. I'm going to send it to Mr. Name for him to post it.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
Now, while I'm at this, let me just complete the going through, and then I go to the dates of deadline dates. No, there is a take-up. Yes.
Read the post, Bar's post. Is it possible for you to delete it in order for him to redo it over?
I don't understand.
He's requesting that the one he posted be deleted so that he can redo it over.
Okay.
I can do that. I'll do that.
Mr. Nyame, I'm not an expert in that, Mr. Nyame. We can do that, but so students need to, as I said before, make certain that when you post, it must. That chapter I gave you on Blackwell Publishers, that PDF file must be integrated in that post and the video and other material. You feel free to research, but I must see clear evidence that you have read that PDF Blackwell file on abnormal psychology that I gave you. It must give evidence that you have read the chapter, the first 1 to 8. I must also see that you have also integrated the 2 clips I sent you. Questions? Any questions?
I think
for clarity, is it that we are to do our original post, then respond to one other, and if somebody responds to our original post, we respond to them as well?
Yes, that's what a post is. In other words, you let's say, I think Mr. Barr posted. You respond to his post. That's an original post you respond. That's the first post. It's an original. Right. Somebody else may respond to you. But at some point you respond again. That's okay. You'd have met the requirement.
Okay, thank you.
So you may have it. So tomorrow, as I said, I'm going to shift the deadline from tonight for tomorrow because, as I said, we had a little hiccups with starting. But I'm going to shift it for the first post. The deadline is tomorrow night, 11:55 Jamaican time, 12:55 my time. And the absolute deadline for the second post is Wednesday at the same time. Are we on the same page, ladies and gentlemen? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Dr.
Yes, Dr.
Okay.
Mark. Yes,
Very
Dr.
good.
Mark.
Okay. So happy posting, everybody. So there is also a take-home exam, which I will try and have you now. The question is that the exam is going to have short answers, vignettes, probably a child and case studies. Make it very practical. I don't believe you need to go and study because this is not to regurgitate material. This is too much to learn. So I'm going to make the exam a take-home exam. That way, people are not stressed out with Christmas. I want to enjoy your snow, enjoy snow and skiing and all that, and enjoying without having to do a final exam.
Dr. Mark, that is you.
Yeah.
You will enjoy the snow and the skiing. You'll enjoy the summer, the sunlight.
Sunlight? Yes, it gets dark at 4:30.
Yes.
By 4 o'clock it's dark. Anyway, so basically that's what you're required to do at this point in time. Now let us look at the dates now. We don't have dates for some things, and I want to just make certain. Now, just to go back over, so the 3 assignments you have to do is the discussion forum. Every week, every Monday, you get a question. Is it clear? You will have to respond, like next Monday, you're responsible. This week 2 is going to be open on this coming Thursday. We're going to, hello? Hello?
It's Dr. Mark.
Yes,
okay.
Dr. Mark.
You're hearing me, or am I talking to the ear?
No, we're hearing you.
Okay. So week 2 is going to be opened up. I'll be sending Mr. Nyame questions. I'll be sending him not only questions, but I'll be sending him the material that I'll send. So he will be getting that. You won't be getting that. It's going to be posted for you to start. That's why it's crucial for you to finish on Wednesday night, that we can start the process again. If you get behind, you're going to be in deep trouble. You're going to lose marks. So finish up everything by Wednesday. Now so for the discussion forum, the deadline dates are that so week 2's post will be on Thursday coming. That's the 19th. No, the 20th. I'm sorry. So you are responsible for between next week Monday, which is the 24th, and the 26th, to make sure that those posts are there. So until the course ends, that's the format of the post.
So just for clarity, Dr. Mark. Just for clarity. So though you say between the 24th and the 26th, it means that we must post on Monday, and the response must be done by the Wednesday. By Wednesday,
yes.
So it's not that we have Tuesday to post the original. We must do it on
Monday. Is the first post.
Okay.
Because sometimes I want to interject myself into the post, and I need to, like this week I checked in several times and no posts. Nobody was posting. I don't know what, but so I give you. That's why we have to give you some time. But we can't keep adjusting the time frame. We have to stick to the deadlines.
Yes, sir.
So yes, Mr. Nyame.
Marshall Lee is remotely asking me to ask the question about the author of the Black Is it Blackburn East?
Tell her I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
I am looking, so please tell her to bear
Oh,
with me.
she's hearing you. She's hearing you, so you can tell her.
How are you?
She's hearing, but you can't hear her.
Okay, tell her. Okay, yes, I'm looking for that author, and as soon as I get it, I'll send it over the internet to Mr. Nyame, to everybody.
Okay.
Any questions on the syllabus? Any other questions in anybody on the syllabus? Okay, all right, no questions. There are two deadlines I proposed was that the deadline for the take home would have been the 31st, and the project, the
movie
individual project, yes, would have been the 31st. Are there any objections to that? Some people didn't want it to, some persons, one or two persons were not happy with the date. It's just too late. They want it earlier. Some people want the 21st. So I don't know. What do you think?
So the 31st take home exam would be for
both
what?
the take home and
would it be a day?
The beg your pardon?
Would the exam just be for? Would we have to hand it in on the 31st? The exam?
Yes, everything with you the 31st of. In other words, I'll be giving you extra time beyond the. That is my practice anyway. When I teach these courses, I give students some time to finish.
Okay.
So it's up to you.
31st is fine for me.
Anybody else?
If we hand it in early, it's not a problem.
Not a problem.
Okay, so that's fine.
The 31st is fine for me.
Anybody else?
Likewise with that.
Okay, 31st of December for the exam. What about the paper? The same time, or you want to hand in the paper earlier?
Paper is fine unless we get it done earlier.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll ratify that in stone in the syllabus that people have agreed to the 31st. It must be in. I must have it sent to my email by 11:55. If it's late, you will lose marks. We have agreed. You have ample time. And I know you like your sorrel and your rum cake and all that. And but paper's due.
When does the course actually finish, Dr. Mack?
The course finishes on the 18th of December.
Okay.
Dr. Mack?
Yes,
okay. Mr. There's a question. The take-home exam is going to be typed, right?
Typed?
They're going to be typing something to email to you?
Yes.
I'd like them to.
Yes.
I'd like them to also upload it to Moodle. I'll create a space for the upload of it to Moodle as well.
Oh, wonderful! That's great.
It is required for the online courses that the exams be uploaded.
Okay, so you hear that, students? Then that means that Mr. Nyame is saying that it must be uploaded, that I could download it officially. So please upload it to the Moodle platform instead of sending it to me. But they can send the papers to me though.
No, they should upload the papers too. I'll give a space. If they want, they can always do. They can always do both, but they must do it on Moodle as well.
Okay, so he's saying that according to regulations, you must upload to the Moodle platform. So either way, I need it to be there by a certain time.
Yeah.
All right. I think yes.
Dr. Mack, I have a question for Kojo. I noticed where we have to post the discussion forum that normally you'll have something that says post discussion here, but there was no option like that. So what would happen is that everybody would be posting on top of each person. I don't think it would be easy to determine who is answering what. So I don't know if it has since been addressed.
Well, you'll have to. Because of the nature, we set up the discussion to be a question and answer.
Mm-hmm.
What that does, it prevents a student from reading one else's post before they post the original.
No, that's not what I mean. In other words, normally sometimes when you go in, you could see if there are how many of us? So 6 of us. So it is 6 original posts. Marshall, Theology, Michelle. And then if I decide that I want to respond to Helogene, then I would go into Helogene versus you have one posting, and when you look inside, you see everybody kind of posting and responding. So it might be a little bit difficult to see. I don't know if that's how Dr. Mac wants it, so I don't know.
No, it's because of how the question and answer form is set up. The lecturer has to post the question, and then the students respond to it. So we will be able to differentiate the original post. It will be the first post that you make. We'll be able to differentiate it. Otherwise, we won't be able to control the originality of the post. So let's work with it for this forum and see how it looks. Okay?
Okay.
It should be okay though, but we'll see.
Dr. Mark.
Yes, sir.
A classmate just sent an email to say that she's hearing you, but you can't hear her. Her name is Eileen Osborne.
Her name is?
Eileen Osborne.
Eileen Osborne. She can't hear me?
No, she's hearing you, but you can't hear her.
Yeah, I cannot hear her.
Okay. She's on mute. She's on mute.
Oh,
no,
well,
no.
That is not on mute.
Dr. Mark, let me explain. Let me explain. Because she's having problem connecting to us, I sent her a link. So she'll be able to watch it, just like Marshall. So maybe you should, you can actually mark her as present as well, because she's watching at the moment.
So they're there. So the only
and she's hearing everything.
is also present. So
yes, okay, nice.
All right. So Miss Thompson is the only one right now who's absent.
And she has an excuse.
And she has an excuse. I am aware of it. Okay. All right. Any other quick before we run to the? I want to do a quick lecture on the week 1. Are there any other questions on the syllabus? Anybody?
No question. Sir Kojo, just confirming that you are actually taping this content?
Yes, it is being recorded.
All right, much appreciated. If possibly could send me the link so that way I could
do. No, it will be posted on Moodle.
Appreciate, sir. Definitely.
Okay.
Dr. Permission.
Yeah, that will be the standard format for each lecture. It will be recorded, so students will have to go back if they need to. Yes. That's how it is on the Google. That's why it's so beautiful. The beauty about this this format is that it's recorded.
I so appreciate that, Dr. Mac and Sir Kojo. Permission to be excused. I will get permission to be excused. I get information from either Elogene or Victor, along with Sir Kojo.
Okay, so you are going to. I'm assuming that you will stagger me with your brilliance when you come back in week 2. About the.
I will do my best, Dr. Mark.
Okay then.
Blessings to you guys.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the actual lecture now. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Okay, all right. Now, when we look at when we consider, now if you can write if you want, because some of the information that I give may not be in your notes. So you may want to take some notes if you can. Now, when we look at the term abnormal behavior, the word abnormal is relative. It's relativistic. It is also cultural. It's relativistic. It is cultural. It is based upon not only culture, but it is based upon one's perception of behaviors within a certain context. So in other words, it's contextual. There's perceptuality about abnormality. It's cultural and it's contextual. Now, you may have read, or you should have read, I should say, the information and the visual lecture on abnormality itself. And I just want to draw your attention to, and you can mute your mics. What do you think abnormal behavior is? Anybody, you can mute your mics and respond. What do you think abnormal behavior is from what you have read? Hello? Abnormal behavior.
Is behavior that is deviant?
We can't hear you, Elogene.
I realize I've been trying to talk.
We can't hear you, Elogene. Hush.
Oh.
We're not hearing your voice. Oh, hush, hush.
Is someone speaking?
Deviation from social norm.
I'm sorry?
It's a deviation from social norms.
Anybody else?
I think it's an impairment to individual's life that prevents optimum performance in a particular domain.
Can you hear me now?
So it's a deviation and it's an impairment from optimal function. Anybody else? Good answers. Anybody else?
They can't hear me.
Dr. McElogene wanted to answer.
Okay.
It violates social norms.
But she can't.
Tell her, just have her give you what she's the answer. Is that the answer?
No.
She can't. You can't hear her. So none of us can hear her. It's unfortunate, but next time.
What did she say?
Yeah.
She can't. We can't hear her. So what she's hearing us.
Huh?
Hello, Jean. She can't hear us. Her phone may have gone mute or something.
Okay. Anybody else?
I was saying Dr. Matt, that it violates social norms.
So violation of social norms.
The patterns and the conditions that are expected in a certain, as you say, context, in a certain culture, in a certain society.
Okay. So basically, then, in understanding of norm, okay, so you're all correct. In understanding of normality, the word ab means what? So so the word abnormal means that there is it's missing the mark, literally missing the mark from what is expected of a certain behavior. So abnormality is a violation of cultural norms, standards of behavior. So normality. So when something is relative, it is based upon a person's socialization to a certain culture or cultural expectations of behavior or standards of behavior. It is also based upon not only standards of cultural expectation, it's also based upon contextual facts within a certain context of behavior. So context is seen as individual driven. One behavior may change in another context. But what makes a behavior abnormal? So we're looking at culture, we're looking at context. We're looking at relativity of the behavior. We are also not only looking at the culture, context, relativity, or the perception. We are also looking at abnormal behavior as a standard of normalcy, a standard of what is called normalcy. So any deviation from a normal way of life Scripts, they call them.
Say it again, Dr. Max. Strips?
Scripts. Script.
Oh, script.
S-C-R-I-P-T. It's a script. We all do scripts in life. All of us do scripts. So you will learn about what is known as culture-bound syndrome. So abnormality is linked to a culture that has what is known as behaviors of that suggests that that the behaviors are deviant within that context. It is called a culture-bound syndrome. Culture-bound syndrome. And these are type of culture-specific behaviors. Culture-specific behaviors. Are people taking notes, by the way?
Yes, Dr. Max.
Okay. Culture-specific behaviors that are indigenous to that culture. Let me give an example. Culture-bound syndromes. These are certain specific behaviors that are specific, atypical of behavior in that culture. So, for example, there are certain behaviors like ataque de nervios is a particular type of culture-bound syndrome that's typical of Hispanic people, where the nerves ataque de nervios is nerve attack, where they feel there is headaches, tremors, they're going crazy. That's typical of Hispanic people. Even in Jamaica, have you heard the term amok? Have you read the newspapers where somebody start getting crazy and chopping people to death? Are you there?
Yes, Dr. Matt.
Amok is typical in Jamaica, parts of Jamaica where the people just start getting crazy, and you have seen many times, I've read in newspapers where somebody just start chopping people up or chopping people to death. That's called amok. So there are a number of culture-bound syndromes. That's in the DSM-4. So I would like you to take a look at that. But they are specific to different kinds. So in other words, you wouldn't find ataque de nervios in Jamaica or in Chinese culture. You find people the other cultures, Chinese cultures or the Japanese cultures. They have a specific disorder that is typical in that particular culture. So if you are, when you're working with people of other cultures, you have to be sensitive to whether or not the pathology, what you're seeing, is it a culture-bound syndrome, or is it just pathology as we understand it? When we look at abnormality, we are looking at several characteristics of abnormality. Abnormality is part of an overall label of behaviors called psychopathology. Abnormality is one subsystem of an overall general set of behaviors called psychopathology. Psychopathology. And the word psychopathology means, psycho means, coming from a Greek word, psyche means mind, pathology, disturbance. So psychopathology is specific type of disturbance that's going to cause certain distress, a certain type of disturbance that will cause distress, disability, distress, disability, dysfunction, distress, disability, dysfunction, and a disturbance of reality to the individual. Distress, disability, dysfunction, and a disturbance of reality to the individual. But let's get back to abnormality, abnormal behavior. So abnormal behavior is looking at the person's behavioral manifestations of a mental disturbance. So abnormal behavior is more behavioral in nature. Psychopathology is the label we give to a disturbance that comes from the mind. Any questions so far? Any questions? Any questions? Is it clear as crystal or as clear as mud?
Clear as crystal.
Very good. Let's continue on abnormal behavior. I want to know the difference. Now, abnormal behavior has several characteristics that I want you to be very clear on. Several characteristics. And if you go to different textbooks, they give you different definitions. But I think that abnormality must have certain things. Character one. Abnormality must have one. It must have, as I said before, some form of intrapsychic distress. Intrapsychic distress or impairment. Intrapsychic distress or impairment. Did you get that?
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Okay. Intrapsychic distress. Intrapsychic means within the individual or dysfunction. There must be a direct deterioration in functioning of the person.
That's number 2, Dr.
That's correct. There must be a distinct deterioration in functioning of the individual. The distress itself, so this is number 3, the distress itself causes considerably severity of symptoms. The distress itself can cause severity of symptoms. The distress itself can cause severity of symptoms. And in abnormal behavior, you have certain what is known as specifiers in the DSM. Jumping the gun, but just for clarity. Specifiers. So abnormality has specifiers of behavior. What is known as specifiers of behavior. That is mild, moderate symptoms, or severe symptoms. Mild, moderate, or severe. Any questions before I go on? Any questions? Clear as mud or crystal?
One quick question, Dr. Mack. You mentioned something about DSM-4. Are we going to be using both DSM-4 and 5?
No, 5.
Oh, okay.
No, 4 is no longer legal to use anymore. No.
Okay.
Even though I prefer to use some of the things in from 4, but no, we don't use DSM. It's no longer used anywhere else. 5 is the acceptable. It's now the standard for mental health.
Okay.
So if I said 4, it's I think I had the chick V got me in my brain from here.
I hope you don't get it, Dr. Mack, please.
No, there's no mosquitoes here. I've never seen it here. You know, the time I'm here, they can't survive here. Okay, all right. So we're looking then at what abnormality is. Now, what is the picture am I painting about abnormality? What am I telling you? What are you seeing? picture people who you see on the streets who are either they're streets, they're mentally ill. What are you seeing? What am I painting to you? What are you seeing? Hello?
Basically, Dr. Mark, what you're trying to say, what you're saying is that there are different levels of abnormal cases or abnormal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That some are mild, some are moderate, and once it goes out of moderation, then it becomes an abnormal situation.
Repeat again. You're a bit blurry. I'm not hearing what.
All right. What based on what you're saying is that there are different levels of abnormal behaviors.
Yes.
Some are mild. In other words, it's still within the scope of management. But when it goes out of moderation, then it becomes like it becomes, once it goes out of that level and into a different level, like this again, then it becomes an abnormal case.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Chian. Anybody else? What do you understand from what do you understand? What is your own view of abnormality, based upon what you have read from the material? What are we saying? What are we trying to say about abnormality? What are you learning about abnormality?
That abnormality can differ in different cultures, and so what may seem normal in one culture may be perceived as abnormal in another culture.
All right, let me get you to wake up. Two men holding hands here in Canada. Two men holding hands in Jamaica. Tell the difference.
It's not much of a difference these days, Dr. Mark.
Well, maybe not of a difference,
but I understand what you're saying. So in Canada, in Canada, that might be the norm.
Or US.
Or the US.
Or a drag queen on a parade dressed up in women's clothing.
Or that might be something that we might not be familiar with right now.
Okay.
So yes, that would appear abnormal.
Abnormal in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yes.
But not necessarily abnormal here.
No, that would be
so the question is, we determine what is normalcy. The question is, what is normalcy?
Normalcy is anything that is expected in a particular setting in a culture. So
what's normal versus abnormal?
Well, this is it. So if in Africa you have some people who walk around half naked, and that's normal for them.
And their breasts are bearing,
hanging all over the place.
Yes. Is that not abnormal behavior?
That's not abnormal for them. But should you come into the Western world, it would appear as abnormal, and we would take them down to Bellevue because they must be mad.
Okay, so in other words, we are contextualizing behavior based upon our perception of the standards of what we are socializing. You see that?
Right.
Does it make sense? Is it making sense?
Makes sense to me, Doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the other students, I don't know, I'm not hearing a word. I don't know what's going on. Am I talking rubbish?
No, Doctor.
No, Doctor.
Well, I mean, hello, Jean, Mr. Kido, Miss, what say you? Hello, Jean. Hello, is she hearing?
She can't speak. She hear, but she can't talk.
Okay, can you hear her?
No, I can't hear her. Her mic not working.
Okay, so she's not hearing. So we're having some challenge. All right. So basically then. Yes? Yes.
It poses a problem because if one thing is accepted in one culture and then in another culture it is seen as being abnormal, then in relation to the standard, then it can be problematic. Then
be careful about abnormal, because we haven't talked about the word deviant. Is deviancy and abnormality the same thing? So when we use the word abnormal, we have to be careful. Is deviancy the same thing as abnormality? Think about it.
I think Dr. Mackey could give me the answer. I think deviancy and abnormality, again, it comes back to which context you're speaking of. Because a deviant behavior can be an antisocial type of behavior.
But is it abnormal?
But it might not be abnormal if you are not accustomed to it in that culture.
A man who steals drugs to take care of a sick child, is that deviant or abnormal behavior?
That is deviant.
Depends on the culture.
Depends on what?
I don't think drugs in any culture is normal, is seen as what should take place.
He steals drugs to help his sick child. Doesn't mean that the drug is illegal.
What type of drug you're talking about?
Well, the drug has to. That drug. So he breaks into somewhere. He couldn't afford the drug. Couldn't buy it from the company, and breaks into the laboratory and steals the drug. Is that abnormal behavior? Is that deviant behavior? Is he antisocial?
I would think it's deviant.
Deviant in what way? How is it deviant?
Because I think it's a choice the person made, not based on probably something that may have affected his mind. But here it is that he made a decision to do this so that he could help a child. So it's not that he was in any way affected mentally, but he made a decision, which means that he was conscious. So I think it would be a deviant behavior, not abnormal.
So is this an ethical dilemma with this case about someone stealing to take to so what am I getting at? I'm looking at the fact of deviant behavior versus abnormal behavior. Are they the same? Are they the same?
I don't think so, Doctor.
In what way they're not the same?
I don't think so.
But in what way they are not the same?
Oh, in what way they are not the same?
Yes.
Well, to use the same example that you just provided, that activity would be deviant because he really wanted something for his child. Though, and that is not what you would. This is a very thin line, and that is not what you would expect somebody to do in order to get the drug. But it would not be seen as abnormal based on there being any kind of impairment or distress or any deterioration in functioning, which is a part of the characteristic.
Very good. You're on the right track. So therefore then we look at deviancy versus abnormality. Deviancy is within a sociological context of violation of certain standards of behavior. It may not be abnormal in that sense because there is legitimacy of the action. That's deviancy. So it's more sociological in terms of a person's action within a society that has certain laws of standards of behavior. The difference with abnormality, ladies and gentlemen, is that abnormality is deviance is more, it's more generally societal in nature. We are functioning as individuals in a society. Abnormality is what is known as, it is based upon it's more individual driven. That is the individual, it's a societal stressors impacting the person that causes the stress. And so the behaviors that are manifested in context are from the individual. Abnormality is individually driven. Deviance is societal driven. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let's look then at what abnormality is in terms of individualism. In other words, abnormality is known as idiopathic function. I-D-E-O. Idiopathic. I-D-E-O-P-A-T-H-I-C. Deviance is sociocultural. Deviance is more behavioral driven. Standards are violated of norms. Abnormality is idiopathic, intrapsychic distress from societal pressures. That's the difference. Any questions? Any questions? Let's continue. So then we have looked at abnormal behavior within psychopathology. There are several characteristics of abnormal behavior. We looked at the nature of abnormal behavior, talked about culture, context, etc. Now let's look at the characteristics of abnormality in idiopathic functions. One, it's not in the what I gave you, so that's why I'm giving you this. You need to take notes. But you also have the lecture if you can go back to if you need to. One, statistical infrequency. One, statistical infrequency. In other words, this kind of behavior that is idiopathic, individually based, or unique from the individual perspective is infrequent. Are everybody mentally ill?
No, that's not.
Okay. So that's why it's infrequent in terms of the abnormal bell-shaped curve. So people who are way out there on the other, we are all in the middle, 50, we are all in the middle. The people are outliers outside, either +3, +2, +1, -3, -2 are the ones who are out there. They are a fraction of behavior. So means that the probability of these behaviors occurring, is about probably a fraction of 1% of incidents in the population. Schizophrenia. Not everybody has schizophrenia. Only a certain percentage of people have that. That's its statistical infrequency. Is it clear? Any questions? Is it clear? Yes.
I was reading on this and it was a little bit unclear. Could you explain it again, please? Does it have to be 50 or could it be on the bell curve? Is when you
if you're looking at it,
was that just a number you're using or?
No, well, mostly like a bell-shaped curve is 50. Okay, the 50 is we're looking at in terms of population. 50 is a standard. Let's go to intelligence then. Let's look at the bell-shaped curve for intelligence. Average IQ is 100.
Right. Okay, that's what I saw.
Right.
Actually,
let's go to the IQ. That's probably easier for people. It's 100. That is the standard for most people. Average intelligence, 100. So if we go to outliers, it's called outliers. And so when outliers is statistics. So if we go to in terms of the statistics, and we go, so the farther out you go, the more infrequent it gets. Plus, okay, to the left, to the right of you, to the right of the curve, +3, +2, +1. So IQ is 100 and a standard deviation of 15. So in other words, people who have geniuses are on the high end in the right. So the further out you go, +3 will be what? Will be 115, then 130, then 145. They'll be out there. You normally don't have a lot of Einsteins in this life, have you?
No,
Will you ever have an Einstein? So he is one of a kind. If you go to the other left, which is in the negative, -1, -2, -3, -2, -1. So the further you go from the standard of 15, 85, then you have what? 70, then 55. These are, you're going to have mental retardation. Do you have a lot of people who are mentally retarded? These are extremes on the curve. It's called a normal curve in terms of showing you how people the standard of where people fall, people's behavior. So if you look at the outliers, +3, +2, +1, that's where you find statistical infrequency. You don't have many people who have an IQ of 145, but you have people who have IQ of 100. That's fall within the normalcy of the population. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Question, Dr. Mac. Just a question. So are we saying then that those persons that would fall in the +3, +2, +1 are abnormal?
Good question. What do you think?
But if they're geniuses, they probably shouldn't be abnormal, but then they can be so eccentric that they could and odd.
Well, that's part of the parcel of what is done in terms of abnormality. They are so eccentric, as you use the word, that they don't fall within the standards of proper behavior.
Okay.
I mean, I disagree with that, but I'm just in terms of understanding statistical infrequency.
Okay.
The second thing I want you to know, okay, so we have that clear. The second thing I want you to know, to be aware of, is violation of norms. And we talked about that before in terms of context. That abnormality is violating a norm. So, for example, you'll be studying about the sexual behaviors, not the dysfunction. They're totally different. They call it paraphilias, where you have, for example, you have peeping toms, for example, or you have people who they do streaking. So these are the paraphilias, fetishes. They violate a certain standard of moral decorum. So abnormality, an act of is abnormal when it violates standards of behavior. And not only that, it causes distress to the person. The person is impaired. It's not just violating the norms, but the person, it causes distress to the person. Causes distress to the person. So let's look at some things here. So a person who a prostitute, are they abnormal? Are their behaviors abnormal? Or a criminal, are their behaviors abnormal?
No, that's not.
But they violate social norms, don't they?
Yes.
They do.
They do.
In what way? Think about it. A gunman who holds up and takes and murders, and are they antisocial? Are they abnormal? Are they mentally ill?
Antisocial.
So it's more violating a norm, not necessarily a normal behavior.
Yes,
what is it?
Violating a norm.
So let me bring something else closer to home. A person may walk in a coat and tie, but they're seen laughing and talking to themselves. Mm-hmm. The Martians are coming. The Martians are coming. I'm Jesus Christ, Lord God Almighty. Are they antisocial or are they abnormal?
It sounds like they would be heading to be abnormal.
In what way?
I guess as it relates to hallucination and talking about things that they couldn't possibly be.
But that's a much.
Yes, Mr. Guy.
What if they're acting out their beliefs?
In what way? How would they act out beliefs?
No, if they believe that they are actually, because I know in terms of religion, some people may have some weird beliefs. So wouldn't it be best then for us to at least, I mean, not just to take it at face value to say that this person is abnormal, but at least to try and find out why this person.
All right, let me ask, let's bring it closer to home. ISIS, are they abnormal people? Are they just plain evil? You have heard of ISIS, right?
Yes.
Are they abnormal? Or are they just plain evil? Or antisocial?
Plain evil and antisocial.
I think it's plain evil.
So you wouldn't say that they are violating a norm. In other words, they violate any norm in society because they murder and they kill people.
Right.
The evaluation is not.
Beg your pardon?
They evaluate the norms of the society because it is going against what is acceptable by the general population of the particular given society.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, whatever action they do, as evaluate what is accepted by that given society in which they found themselves.
Okay, why are they so hated by the world?
It comes back again to different perception. How a number of basically my perception and their perception is quite different. So as one perceives things, I think that's why.
Come again.
Looking at perception, the way we perceive them, that because they evaluate the general norm or the acceptable norm for that particular situation society. Therefore, we look at them and say, okay, things they go against what is acceptable. Therefore,
but let me ask you a question. The murdering of the crucifying of children, or killing innocent children, or murdering people, is that a violation of norm or is it based upon abnormality?
It's based on the valuation of norm.
So in other words, it's cross societies. People respond to that.
Yes, sir.
Is that, so in other words, there is no nature of abnormality. What would make? Okay, let's say, for example, if you were to contextualize this, someone says, someone comes with a dripping knife. Hello, are you there?
Yes, Dr. Weber.
In another context, someone comes with a dripping knife and a severed head. Are they violating a norm or are they abnormal? Are they saying, God told me to do it? Are they abnormal or are they violating a norm?
I think both. Both.
In what way?
Both in the sense that abnormality in the sense that they're saying that somebody told them to do it, which could again be seen as maybe hallucination, and violating social norms because people don't just go around chopping off people's head.
Well, if the same person said Allah Akbar, Are they normal or abnormal?
Well, it would be normal for them in their religion, because that's what they do.
But someone who in another culture slices off somebody's head and walks with it with the blood and says, "God says me to do it. I heard voices tell me to do it." Are they abnormal?
I would want to say that they are.
Let me hear Latoya. I haven't heard from Ella Jean. Yes.
Ella Jean, you're not going to be able to hear from her.
Okay. Miss Latoya, I've not heard from you at all.
I believe the person will be abnormal.
Explain.
It's not possible for society or to a person who is normal to just get up and kill somebody out of the blue. Killing somebody wouldn't be considered normal.
But the ISIS people who says when they're murdering people, they say Allah Akbar, God is great. Are they abnormal or are they violate the norm? Because it's jihad. It's in the Quran.
Go again?
It's holy jihad. It's in the Quran.
Oh. You wouldn't be abnormal, Dr. Ma.
Why not?
Because it's in the Quran and it's jihad. So for them, in that part of the world, that's fine and wonderful for them. That's how they would operate. If that kind of behavior came to Jamaica, we would cart them off to Bellevue.
You cart them off to Bellevue?
Or lock them up in a general.
Or you'll have human rights people on your tail.
Well.
Or religious violation of religious rights. But basically you're getting the point though. That abnormality has to do with a clear violation of norms. However, I must add that it doesn't necessarily mean that violating the norms means the person is abnormal. There is relativity in the violation of norms. What is distinctive about the norms? If the person's behavior is causing distress to themselves and disruption to others, that's abnormal behavior. Okay. Let me repeat. If the behavior within the context is causing distress to the person as well as disruptions to the flow of societies or how society's goals and objectives are, then that's abnormal behavior. It must be a two-way street. There must be reciprocity. So there must be distress to the person and a disruption to other person to the stability of societal organization. Is it clear?
Yes, Dr.
Hello?
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Okay. The third thing I want to belabor the point, is that abnormal behavior, there must be, and as we talked about it before, but we're going to emphasize again, there must be clear distress to the person. The symptoms are such that it creates intrapsychic conflict. It's called intrapsychic, within. Intra means within the person. So whatever the problems, is coming from the person's, from personality, childhood events, temperament, lack of coping skills, it's from within the person. However, the distress, as I said before, comes to others outside of that person as a disturbance or disruption. So in terms of the stress, it looks at the margin, looks at personal suffering. The person is considered what is known as there is a relative impairment. There is relative impairment. The person's experiences are causing, the person's impairment is causing a disruption outside of them. Interpersonal disturbance. So intra-side conflict creates interpersonal disturbance to others. Intra-psychic tensions creates interpersonal disturbance to others. That's also seen as personal distress.
Sorry, Dr. Mack, intrapsychic is within the person. And the one that
is within the person. In other words, the person is experiencing great distress from within themselves. Example, hallucinations, ruminations, obsessions, compulsions. Those are intrapsychic. But the disturbance is impacting others outside of them. So a child, for example, an ADHD child, has difficulties, may have difficulties in concentrating, paying attention, learning. Is that intra or inter? Listen again, paying attention, concentrating, and learning. Is that inter or intra?
Intra.
Why? Why? Why is it intra?
Because it's within the child. Whatever is
happening. It occurs within the person.
Right.
So intra leads to inter, where the person's conflicts become externalized. So intra also can be internalizing symptoms. We look at that a lot more. Intra-psychic can also where the person internalizes. So abnormality leads with internalizing of symptoms. Inter means they externalize. So an ADHD child can act out at school, or they act out, they throw tantrums, they don't learn, they fight. That's a conflict. So a child who's going through divorce, for example, may start now taking their feelings of sadness, anxiety into the classroom where they fight. That is externalizing behaviors. Interpersonal. Is it clear?
Okay, so it's called interpersonal, or what is intrapsychic?
No, intrapsychic is for the individual. Intrapsychic is equivalent to internalizing those symptoms. Inter means that there is they cause a disruption.
What do you call it, Dr. Mack? Interpersonal or interpsychic?
Interpersonal or externalizing of behaviors. Okay. It's outside of the person. It causes others to also. It causes a problem with other people, because if they're acting out, other people are going to be affected by it. Is it clear? Clear?
Yes, okay.
Am I talking rubbish, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not hearing. Am I talking rubbish?
No, it's clear, Dr. Mack.
All right, very good. So let us go over again quickly. Statistical infrequency, violation of norms, personal distress. The fourth one I would like to leave with you is disability or behavioral dysfunction. Those are common, but it's important to talk about them. Disability or behavioral dysfunction. Now the DSM, for example, talks about If you notice when you read the disorder, it says there must be clear impairment in social, occupational functioning. That is disability. In other words, the individual is impaired in some important area of life. The individual is impaired in some important area of life. For example, work or personal relationships. That's a disability. And so you need to, when you are starting to get familiar with your cases, these are one of the key things you lack somebody. When somebody can't function in their work, or they can function in their interpersonal relationships, there is abnormality. They may have an adjustment disorder, for example, or they may be depressed. Or, for example, the person may have a phobia that they're afraid to leave their homes. That's a disability. Any questions? Any questions?
No, Dr. Mark.
Is it clear?
Clear.
Crystal clear?
Yes, Dr. Mark.
Okay, so last one I want to leave with you is unexpectedness. 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 Now, why am I saying about unexpectedness? Because abnormality can be something. Abnormality is not something that happens in everyday life. It can come as there is a sense of unawareness of the disorder. It can come. One can be unaware of it, but it does make an impact. Unexpectedness is dealing with.
I'm sorry, Dr. Mac, I'm hearing some music, so I'm not hearing it very clearly.
I'm sorry. Are you hearing very clearly?
I'm hearing some music in the background.
I'm too. I don't know. So is somebody vacuuming in the house or something? Is it clear now?
If it's muted or it's turned on or something, I don't know. Okay.
Mr. Niame, are you there?
I'm not.
Remember to mute the mics. Mute mic.
Okay, can you mute your mics, please? Maybe if you mute your mics. Much better. Okay, why unexpectedness? When something is unexpected, you're not expecting. In other words, there is a sense where it cuts against the grain of normalcy. So when something is unexpected, it means that the behavior is a sudden. It's a sudden unexpected response to uncertainty. So unexpectedness is linked to an unawareness of uncertainty. Unawareness of uncertainty, where it's like this, the symptoms just suddenly come on you without you having a chance to deal with it. So, for example, someone who just lost their job, for example, starts having panic attacks. That's unexpectedness. They were okay for 2 weeks ago, but suddenly losing their job, they start to panic. So that is unawareness. So it's a suddenness of stressors that the person has no control over. So in unexpectedness, the symptoms that one has, it's more situation specific. With unexpectedness, abnormality in this case is more situation specific. There is uncertainty and there is a lack of control. There is uncertainty and there is a lack of control in this instance. There's uncertainty and there is a lack of control. So those are the 5 characteristics of abnormality that you need, or abnormal behavior that you need to be aware of. Now, we talked a lot about what is psychopathology, and I said to you that psychopathology is more a broader understanding. So psychopathology then is a systematic study. So we're going to look at psychopathology. Abnormality is part of psychopathology. But psychopathology, which is a study of the mind, disturbed mind, that's what it means, is a systematic study of mental disorders. Psychopathology, then, is a systematic study of mental disorders. And these disorders are categorized. These disorders are categorized. They are categorized You got that? Well, you got that? You got that? Disorders are categorized. Okay. Excuse me. So they are categorized into clusters of behaviors that have certain origins. Certain origins. One, in terms of the psychological. Two, biological. Three, cultural. And four, the behavioral. Behavioral, cultural, there's the biological. So there are several types of psychopathology. Now, because psychopathology is a cluster of disorders, there they are on a continuum. They are on a continuum, and there are categories of behavior to explain abnormality.
Could you repeat that, please?
Repeat what?
The last sentence.
There are categories of behaviors to explain abnormality. Categories of behaviors to explain abnormality. Categories of behaviors to explain abnormality. Psychopathology, I'm continuing. is rooted in the psychology of behavior. The psychology of behavior. And so a disorder is seen as a psychological dysfunction. It is seen as a psychological dysfunction within an individual. It is within the individual, intrapsychic, internalizing. And that dysfunction within the individual causes distress and impairment in functioning. Causes distress and impairment in functioning. This dysfunction is also cultural specific. It's culturally specific. It's contextually based. Culturally specific, contextually based. That is, it is not a part of the stability of the culture. It's not a part of the cultural expectations of societal norms. Continuing, it is the dysfunction is known as an atypical response. The dysfunction is known as an atypical response. Continuing, an atypical response that is also linked to a breakdown. A typical response that is linked to a breakdown in cognitive, emotional, or behavioral function. Let me repeat. It's an atypical response also that refers to a breakdown in cognitive, emotional, or behavioral functioning. Unmute your mics. Any questions? Any questions?
One from me, Dr. Max.
Beg your pardon?
I'm okay.
Anybody else? Everybody else? Mr. Gaia, Mr. Chiana, Miss Hepburn, Miss Spencer, Miss
Hepburn,
Miss Osborne, all clear as crystal, or am I boring you to death?
Well, Dr. Mac.
Have I staggered you to my brilliance?
Yes.
Yes, Doctor.
Any questions on the topic of abnormality? Does it not make sense when you read that material? Does the material seem much more clear to you when you go back to read it?
Yes, it does.
Hello?
Yes, it clears up some. Yes, it clears up some gray areas.
Some obfuscations.
Okay, Dr. Mac. Yes.
Gray areas. Okay. Any questions? Just know that abnormality is part of violation of norms, but violation of norms is not abnormality. Abnormality is based upon the individual idiopathic, it's intrapsychic internalizing behaviors that can be externalized in some instances. It's culture specific, it's contextual driven. It's an impairment in cognitive, behavioral, emotional functioning. Abnormality means that it affects an individual, not society. Abnormality is more individual driven, not societal. If it's societal, it's deviance. Is it clear?
Clear.
Am I staggering with my brilliance?
Yes, sir. So violation. So abnormality is the violation of norms.
Abnormality can be considered let me put it that way. Abnormality is a violation of standards of behavior, not necessarily norms. Be careful.
Okay.
Deviance is a violation of norms, but deviance is not abnormality.
Okay.
Any other question?
So Dr. Mac, if it was written, abnormality can be seen as a violation of norms, that could be wrong?
Not as long as you clarify.
Okay.
Let me ask you, what do you mean by that?
Violation of norms?
Yes. What do you mean?
The patterns and the behaviors of an individual,
yes,
that might be different from what is expected in their context, in their cultural context.
Yes.
So right, so that would be the violation of norms.
Yes.
Okay, which would be abnormal.
Yes.
But deviance could also be seen as a violation of
norms,
of those
necessarily abnormality.
But not necessarily abnormality because it is violating society.
Yeah, because deviance is culturally driven.
Okay.
Abnormality is individually driven.
Okay.
Now, in week 2, there are in your handouts. I know you had looked at the historicity of abnormal behavior. You had looked at that video. We won't go through it tonight. I mean, that you can read on your own. But just know that there are 3 main, and I'll touch more a bit on it on Monday. I'm going to touch on it. That there are 3 main, what I call epochs or eras of understanding abnormal behavior. One is the supernatural tradition.
So, Dr. Mark.
Yes.
Those were in the video clips. Aren't we supposed to be integrating those into the discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just checking.
But I will not go them over tonight. But just know that there are 3 main areas. And they're all important because they led to what we have now as a development of a cohesive and coherent mental health system across the world. What you have in Bellevue and the other community mental health came out of the very same thing that we're studying right now, the history of Bellevue and all that. So the biological tradition is important because it gives you an understanding of the brain-based behavior to explain the abnormal. All important because they led to what. And the psychological tradition. Somebody has your mics. Could you mute your mics, please? Okay. Came out of the very same history of Bellevue and all. So the biological tradition is important and understanding of the brain. Hearing a feedback. Okay.
Seems as if you're being played back.
Yes, Mr. Nyame?
I am not sure what's happening.
I don't know what's happening.
Alright, mute the mic. Yeah, so it's gone now. Okay, continue.
I see a question from Ms. Spencer. Yeah. She's asking a question. Individual reflection due tomorrow. She's expecting references to be included. Yes, ma'am. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Listen carefully. Let me repeat again. The individual reflection is really a research. It's a research exercise that even though you're responding to that question and the Blackwell publishers, and somebody had asked me about the author, is that you're expected to also do some. I want to see clear evidence of research, apart from the article you read and the integration. Yes. So I hope I've answered your question, Mr. Nyame. She's gone.
Okay, no, she can only hear you know. She can't see, so she's
okay. Well, tell her that. Well, she can hear me then.
She heard you.
Okay, so everybody, when you're doing the reflection, there is to be evidence of research, as well as the topic, the material that you have given. That those must be included for tomorrow night.
So, Dr. Mac, to answer with the question that Marshall had asked in terms of the referencing for the Blackwell publishing, if we try and reference it as best as we can, that can work, right?
Yes, I'm not going to penalize you right now for that. All I need to know is that you, as long as you acknowledge the sources where you got your information, that's fine with me. Okay. We'll deal with that APA style. You need to learn how to write APA style anyway.
Okay.
You need to have to learn. Did each of you publish the APA 5th edition of the APA style writing? Hello? Did you purchase the APA?
Yes, Dr. Mac. Yes, I had that from classes.
Okay, now you need to. I think we had when I was HOD for you to have a workshop on APA. So Mrs. I will maybe have to have Miss Thompson help assist with that because you do need to learn how to write APA style. For psychology students, you have to learn how to write. Psychology students, you have to learn how to write APA. All right. Are there any questions? Are we having a feedback? I don't know what's happening, but we're having feedback. Any questions? So far? A sign to stop. It's 10 o'clock by my watch. Any questions, anybody? Hello?
No, Dr. Mac.
The topic, I think I gave you something on defense mechanisms. Hold it until week 2, please.
Okay.
I will go over that. Very important for you to be aware of the defense mechanisms. So hold that. Any questions on tonight's lecture? Is it clear as crystal or mud?
It's clear for now, Dr. Mac.
Crystal, very good. Clear until what?
Until Probably need to ask another question or two.
That's fine. You can email me, you can call me on the phone. The number is local. You don't have to call long distance.
Okay.
Leave a message and I'll answer, within time. Any other questions?
Can you hear me?
I can.
You can hear me? Awesome. Okay. I know
who is that? That is Miss
Hello, Jean.
And how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay. Any questions, Miss Jean?
Yes. I was looking at the syllabus. I've been trying to talk, but you guys weren't hearing me. Yeah, I was looking at the syllabus around the back where you have project research topics. Are we supposed to just choose one of these topics that we're going to be doing for individual project and group project?
Thank you for raising that. I forgot about that. Thank you very much for raising that issue. Yes. No. Let's go back to the syllabus. Let's go back, please. Bear with me. Let's go back. The presentation. Mr. Nami?
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself back and I'm confused. I hope I'm not getting psychotic.
Please, everybody, mute your mics again. I'm muting mine too.
Okay, please. Okay. If we were to go back to page let's go to page I'm trying to find, bear with me please. Those topics are for the individual. I'm not the individual, for the group presentations. So it's on page
I think it's page 15.
Yes, it is. It's page, well, actually, it's probably page 16 on my, because the syllabus is as I think is revised, so you're going to have a difference. So, I will send it to him and he'll post it on the platform that you can have access to the new syllabus. But all from 16 by my syllabus to, or what 15 for you, is to probably 17 for you. These topics are for the group presentation. So you select any one of the topics for either child or adult. But remember that these are if you notice, the DSM has changed. So if you're taking dissociative disorders, it's quite a lot. You have to take one. You're gonna have to take for the I suggest that you take one disorder and comment on it or present on it. But you can talk about the other disorders in general, but you take one specific one and comment, because if you do all, you're gonna write reams and reams of pages, which you don't have time.
Is there a page limit?
Not necessarily, as long as I have the content, as long as it reflects the guidelines I gave you previously. No problem.
Okay. This is the individual one, right, miss?
No.
Right, doctor?
Group.
Sorry,
no, group.
So this says 45 minutes.
It's for the presentation. It's really an hour. The reason why I said 45 minutes is to give people a chance to present and 50 minutes for students to ask questions. Okay. It's really an hour.
So this is the one that we're going to put on the Moodle platform and also email to you.
The presentation. Well,
right.
Well, I prefer a copy of the presentation, but students need a copy of it. Every student must have a copy of this presentation.
Okay.
And we actually do a presentation online like how we're doing it now?
Well, yes, a group presentation, group.
Okay. Just to understand the answer to Helene's question. So we have a number of stuff here. So we have topics that speaks to substance abuse, and then you have the personality disorder on one side, and then when you go on the other page, now you have neurodevelopmental disorders, communication. All of these are the ones that we need to choose one from.
You choose one from. These are what I call categories I was talking about in terms of the DSM. Psychopathology.
Okay.
These are different psychopathological disorders in the DSM. Neurodevelopmental disorders is one category. Communication disorders is one category in children. Language disorders is one category. Motor disorders. And if you notice, they have all of these. You cannot write on all. You can take one specific one and be much more and flesh out the disorder. But you can talk about what they mean, but you can't write on everybody. It's too much.
So just for clarity, you choose one of the adult and one of the child?
No. Either
just
an
one
adult
overall.
disorder. Yes, no. Either one or. So if you're choosing communication disorders, you choose communication disorders. If you're choosing motor disorders, you may choose developmental coordination disorder. But you can also talk briefly about stereotypic movement disorder. What do they mean? But I want to focus more specifically on developmental coordination disorder.
Where is that one now? Developmental.
It's under motor disorders, for example, on page 17, maybe 16 on your syllabus.
So, Miss,
yes.
So, Doctor, because it's so wide and so vast, because we could also pick a personality disorder.
It's up to you. But remember that it's a lot. You can't produce on all 16 types of personality disorder. That's important. I mean, you can talk about them briefly, you can mention them, but I expect you to be in depth with one of the disorders. That's what I expect you to do.
Well, you said something about the child. Under the motor disorders, you want something from under there as well?
No. It's up to you. You can choose any one you want. These are just guides for you to choose either a child or adult disorder for presentation.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, finish your sentence.
I was moving on to something else. So if what you're saying is related to this, I'll allow you.
I forgot what I was about to say.
Oh no. Okay. In relation to the assignment that we need to be posting by tomorrow.
Yes.
What was the question? Right, you say we need to make reference to the video clips and the readings.
Yes.
So in doing so, do we state where the information is coming from when we make these references?
Well,
or can we just speak in general?
It would be nice if you can make reference to where it's coming from, but basically it should be your own thinking.
Your own words, opinion, but just showing that you have knowledge based from what
you're showing critical insight and critical thinking about the topic you're reading about, you're read about.
Okay.
But I must show clear evidence that you're relating it to the topic, to the material I gave you.
That we've been exposed to.
And you relate it to the Jamaican or the Guyanese context. It must clearly talk about what's happening in Jamaica or Guyana.
No problem.
Another thing I forgot to mention is that you saw that at the end of the syllabus, the acknowledgement of course syllabus content. You need to sign it and send it to me by email.
Okay. Dr. Mark, at the end.
Yes.
That we have read and understood.
That's
at
correct.
At the end of the timetable, it says There's an asterisk and it says students are expected to do their own reading on these topics and will be tested on them. Which topics?
Okay, let me see what happened where that is concerned. No, just ignore that. That should not be there. I'm taking it right now.
Where is that?
On page 14 at the bottom.
Page 15 for me, but no, just ignore that. I took it out, so don't worry about it. It's gone.
All right. So these dates that are here, Dr. Mack, will stand in terms of
the 31st. People have said yes.
No, not that one, Dr. Mack. Okay. In the timetable. In the timetable.
In terms of when we completed each.
Those are based upon the units that Mr. Nyame kindly he helps with helping with the dates for the Moodle. I have to confirm to what he has set up on the platform. So the dates that are there are what is supposed to be for the weeks ahead. So tonight we looked at we discussed week 1, unit 1's. We looked at abnormal behavior. We looked at history of psychopathology. I did not touch much on defenses. I'm going to link that up with the models of psychopathology, and I'm going to be touching on week 2 models of psychopathology. I'm going to touch on the defense mechanisms, and I'm going to look at effects of cultural psychiatric labeling, and I'm going to be touching on object relations and attachment theories. Okay. So there are a number of things to cover. If we can't cover it because it's so vast, we'll see how it goes. I may have to link it to I probably will have to link it to Route 3, but we'll see how it goes. But please, yes?
Dr. Mack,
okay.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
B. On the course outline.
Okay.
I see where you have in bold students' personal worldview of the concept of child and adult abnormal behaviors. Is that a separate assignment?
Let me see. Where is that?
On the discussion pre-reflection assignment. That's B.
No.
It's not. Wonderful.
No, it's a part of the no. That's a part of the reflection that you're doing to post.
Okay, good.
What I mean is explaining that it's a reflection exercise individually. You're graded individually. There's group and individual grading. I mean, I'm grading you individually and group to balance it.
Okay.
But what I'm explaining within that assignment is that it's an individual reflection and it's your worldview of child and abnormal behavior. What do you think? All right?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Anything else?
You finished, Hello Jean?
Yes, I am.
Okay. One quick I still have a little question on the
yes,
the scheduling. The dates that you have here, like the group presentations and so on that you have.
Yes.
This would apply to persons who are groups that would have chosen these particular disorders?
Okay. Well, the problem is we may have to put people, I suggest that we put people in groups now. I know it's a bit, I mean, it's getting a bit late for me particularly, but I'm going to have to do it because I want us people to start. We are proposing that the group presentation starts December 1st is what day?
Monday.
Okay, so I'm proposing that it starts in early December.
Because on here you have the first group presentation on it says week 3 to 4, unit 3, November 25th to 28, December 1, 2, 3, 4.
No. You see what I'm saying to you, that the syllabus is incorrect. What I have is a totally different syllabus.
Okay, so you just
I have, yeah.
Okay.
So do not focus on that syllabus. It needs to be revised, as I said. Okay.
Just work with what comes on.
What I have for week 3 is unit 3, November to December 3rd. So I suggest that we start December 1st with one presentation, December the 8th December the 15th, and that's it. We can only have 3 groups. We have how many? We have 9 students.
How much persons you need in a group?
I believe we have how many students we have? I believe we have 10 students. Wow, we have 10 students in the class now. 10 students. So we're gonna have let me see, 2, 3, 10. We may have to have 3 groups. We can't really, we don't have the time to have, people need to present, it needs preparation for this kind of presentation. It takes time. And we have 10 students now.
So 3, 3, and 4.
Yes.
Do we put ourselves in group, or will you be doing that?
I think I'll do that now if I can. No, I think I need to spread that the groups are balanced. Okay. This is what I have here. I have the first 3 names I wrote: Williams, Hepburn, and Cameron. You are group 1.
Go again.
Williams, Mighty Hepburn, and Latoya Cameron is group 1. And group 2, Osborne, Johnson Spencer, and Chiana is group 2. And group 3, Gaia, Kido, Bar. Wait a moment. Why am I having him twice? Bar. So it's 10 people. Mr. Nami, how many people we have in this group?
I remember that Lataya Dennis.
Oh, she's
Lataya Dennis.
Okay, she's missing. Okay.
I just added her, so.
Oh yes. Okay, so it's 4. So it's then it will be Kido Gaia, Bar, Dennis Hall, and Vanessa Thompson for group 3. Is it clear now?
Yes,
I've assigned to myself.
Okay, doctor. So as time goes by, we'll know. So the presentations are the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th.
Yes. December the 1st, yes, we cannot give here. So
will you be telling us when each group would present?
Beg your pardon?
Would you tell us when each group would present?
You know, it's the 1st, you are December 1st. December 2nd is for Osborne, Johnson Spencer, and Chiana.
Oh, okay.
December 15th is group 3, Gaia, Barr, Dennis Hall, and Thompson.
Okay.
You have the dates already. Start preparing now, please. Don't wait until the last moment.
All right. Okay then, doctor.
And okay. Are we not clear?
As can be.
Yes, Mr.
Marshall is asking to clarify what exactly is due tomorrow.
Okay, what is due tomorrow is the discussion, the reflection. There are 2 things with that reflection paper. I have on your syllabus, it's 35%, it's not. The reflection exercise is worth 10% of the grade. So what is due tomorrow and Wednesday is that first course material I sent you, the clips. It's worth 10% of the grade. So I gave you until tomorrow to make your first post, and on Wednesday to make your second post.
Okay.
Oh, so change the discussion forum from 35 to 10%.
No. The exercise is part of the discussion forum, but I separated it because it's a very important. It's dealing with abnormal behavior, what you discussed tonight. And I want you to clearly see that you're understanding and know probably what you have learned, you can integrate. What you have learned tonight, it's up to you, as long as you show me that you have read the information and where you got it from.
Okay.
Is it clear? Ask Spencer if it's clear, Mr. Nami. Is she understood?
Okay. I don't hear from her yet.
Okay, so she's probably not.
No, she's following, so she's probably processing.
Okay.
Okay, that's it then.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Nama, you have some emails I'm reading. Do you want me to go over the email again to the students, or was it clear?
My email?
Yes.
Concerning what?
In the research paper due tomorrow. It's not a research paper. It's not. It's part of the. It's to be discussed. Actually, it's an exercise in discussion forum. I don't want a paper to send to me. I don't want to, just do it in the discussion forum. But it's that paper is that is separate 10%.
Okay. That's what is it, Marshall? Those questions were from Marshall.
Okay, ask her she understands.
She said she's asking if the reflection is different from the discussion, so she probably don't understand still.
No.
It's the same.
No, the reflection is the same. Okay, the reflection paper, let me see if I can be very clear. The reflection paper is actually another exercise. However, I did not want to send me a paper, 10 separate papers. I wanted you to integrate that information in the discussion forum. So, the paper is, well, let me not use the word paper because it confuses students. The exercise is linked to, she understands now.
Yeah.
Just say that it's worth 10%.
Okay.
The other 4 chats or the other 4 posts are worth 25%.
Okay.
All right, so somebody could close in prayer. I know we didn't have a chance to open in prayer, which I apologize about. That was not intentional, but somebody, Mr. Nami, could you, since you have been so kind with us, to stay up until 10:25 to close in prayer for us?
Okay.
Please.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you, Almighty God, that you were with us this evening, Lord, that you took us through the hills and the turns and the curves, and in the end, Almighty God, we were clearer on what we are expected to accomplish in this course. We thank you, Almighty God, for Dr. Mack and for her dedication. We thank you for the students, oh God, and their drive and their desire to do well in this course. We ask, Lord, that you continue to open their minds and their hearts, and that you give them the strength to persevere as they continue along this journey. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Okay, well, students, have a good night.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mack. You too.
Latoya.
Thanks, Dr. Mack. Same to you.
Latoya.
Yes, I'm here.
We need to link up. Send me your email.
All right then, Dr. Mack.
Okay, then before you go, Mr. Nami, before you go, everybody, just before you go, just to be clear where people are here, Mr. Nami, let us see if we can get the dates. So on Thursday we will open the new material for week 2, correct?
Yes, on Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay. And so so students, so we'll open the material, and on Monday we'll have the chat again on the material you have read. Is that clear?
Yes, Dr. Mac.
Yes,
All
Dr.
right.
Mac.
Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
And
going
the
to
same to
sleep.
you, Dr. Mac.
Same to you.
Night.
Have a
It's
good
almost 11
weekend.
o'clock by my watch.
Oh my goodness. Okay then, Dr. Mac.
All right.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye. Have a good
Thank
night.